They say a picture can paint 1,000 words, but in a very beautiful place like this, it is almost next to impossible to find the right words to describe it. Explore the world of travel photography with us as we discover colorful Guizhou here in China. Welcome to Digital Photographer. In a country with a very rich history of amazing culture, food, and people, photography is one of the best ways to capture it, if not the best. China is definitely one of the perfect examples. I was joined by a good street and travel photographer, Larry Monserate Piojo, together with other international photographers, on a tour organized by China Daily to shoot Guizhou Province in China. Guizhou is a province located in southwest China. It will take 6 hours of plane ride to get here from Manila via connecting flight in Shanghai. With an estimated population of 3.5 million, Guizhou is a mixture of modern and ancient China, enough ingredients to shoot travel. We started our journey in an ancient town called Xiaxi, a very old town being renovated. While walking to the town, I asked Larry about his thoughts on travel photography. Now, how do you personally define travel photography?
You personally? Well, travel photography usually would let you, capture not only the what do you call this, the place.
Place, okay.
The beauty of the place. That's number one. The number one thing that you have to put in mind. That you, when you're doing travel photography, normally you would do the scenes, like for example the places.
This is very beautiful,
yeah,
right?
It's a very beautiful place so far. It's also the most beautiful place I've been so far, I think. And well, other than places, other than this kind of place that you have to photograph, you also need to think about culture.
Yes.
Locals. Yeah, and the way they smile, the way they talk, and everything. So that's one of the most challenging and most exciting part of travel photography.
Speaking of culture, the Xiaxi people exert their whole effort to restore the old town and to look like it was before. These people are not construction workers, but mere locals living in the town, working day and night, 7 days a week. With a lot of things going on, we decided to focus first on shooting people. What you see now is Larry is taking a portrait of an old man. This is a very good example of an environmental portrait. As you see, this is the old man's house. So Larry's taking his portrait in his own home. So Larry's showing his character, what he do, where he lives. An environmental portrait is a portrait done in the subject's usual environment, such as in their home or workplace, illuminating the subject's life. It's a part of travel photography where the surroundings or background are key elements. It is also used to convey information about the person being photographed. In our case, we need to show the Miao's culture and their environment. Where it is common in studio portraiture and even in location candid photography to shoot using a shallow depth of field, thereby throwing the background out of focus, the background in environmental portraiture is an integral part of the image. Small apertures and great depth of field are commonly used in this type of photography. We continued our journey in the places of the Miao ethnic minority, one of China's most ancient minority. The architecture, the scenery, and the people are so charming that most of us in the tour were overwhelmed. But before we entered the village, we had to take roadblock challenges. Arriving here now, we're here at Miao village, south of Guizhou. Part of traveling is experiencing the culture of the people.
Yeah. Actually, this place is very rich of culture.
Yes.
can see at the back, you have a lot of very attractive costumes these people, these locals are wearing. So I'm really very much excited now to take photos with these people here now and mingling with them, like I said earlier, and talk to them as much as we can. And what we're going to take right now is more of portraits.
Portraits, yes. Environmental portraits.
Environmental portraits.
Before we enter the village, we need to take a wine.
Yeah.
But it takes 12 wines before we go up there.
Yeah.
So I hope we won't get drunk. So Larry, take care of me?
No, you have to take care of me.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I think so. Wish me luck.
1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Larry and I did our best to finish the roadblocks. The Miao people form one of the largest ethnic minorities in southwest China. Observing the people, their clothing has very distinctive features. Men usually wear linen jackets, buttoned down the front or to the left, long trousers with wide belts, and long black or dark blue scarves. Women's clothing are jackets buttoned down on the right and trousers, with decorations on collars, sleeves, and trouser legs. On festive occasions, they wear various kinds of silver jewelry.
I won't get tired taking photos of this amazing
people, very amazing people. Larry's taking close-up portraits with them. What I do is I use a flash. It's cloudy. The colors are a bit pale, so I put a flash to put more contrast to them.
Yeah.
Because these are very amazing people. Larry got close to the men to show some action in the photos, while I flashed them up using the Phottix Plus as my fill. I intendedly underexposed the other parts of the image because I want to show focus to the people. But I learned something. I got to speed up my shooting. So, you know guys, when you do a travel, I learned this from Larry, you maximize your time. There's no tomorrow, there's no later. Do whatever you can, shoot whatever you can. On a tour like this, you don't have the luxury of time. So the lesson, shoot quick and easy. The action continues as we head on to a village we've never seen before. More travel photography techniques when digital photographer returns. DPP is on assignment in China to do a feature on Guizhou Province with Larry Monserate Piojo. We took travel portraits before we head out to the next adventure. Next up is a place with a history of more than 2,000 years. Zenyuan is a town where an active night market is present. Fascinated with it, we took a stroll and ended up in the Wuyang River. Okay, Larry, here at Zenyuan, which is more than 2,000 years old, very beautiful place. Can I ask, what are the shooting opportunities that only happens at night for travel photographers like you?
Well, as a travel photographer and street photographer, I've been shooting night. I find it pretty much. I find night time more dramatic than daytime. So normally when I shoot street photography at night, I put a lot of shadows, long shadows.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. So because, for example, the lights that you see here, the street lights, they produce long shadows, the car lights, everything, they produce long shadows. So those are the things that I look for every time I shoot for street photography.
And then you use what kind of lens?
Normally I just shoot the normal lens, like for example the kit lens. I can shoot with the kit lens, the 1855 lenses, or I can shoot with the wide or a prime, like just 1-24mm lens. So it really depends on how you want to shoot it. So right now I'm shooting with a 24mm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a 24mm f2.
F2.
Yeah, f2.
Are you wide open? Wide open?
Sometimes you need to do the wide open because there are spots that are too dark, and I really need to open up with the aperture. So it's very important as well if you're shooting night, for example street photography at night, that you have the wide open lens. Okay. Because it's easier for you to go with a fast shutter speed.
Okay. So everyone, while Larry is shooting portraits, I'll be taking nightscapes. Larry and I decided to separate ways to shoot. I stayed near the riverbanks while he explored the streets to shoot some night action. Check out his awesome photos. As a photographer myself, I am always fascinated with night shooting because of the colorful lights and the vibe. I used a mirrorless camera and a tripod on the shoot. A mirrorless camera helps on making instant previews, while a tripod is your best friend in this type of shoot. So my settings here is f11, 5 seconds at ISO 320. It's not that long exposure because generally this area is very bright. You know, one thing I've noticed, and the good thing about mirrorless cameras, even on long exposures, you get an instant preview. That's the power of mirrorless. Unlike on the older versions of the DSLR, there's still part of trial and error. But for mirrorless, you get an instant preview. So here's my shot. It was a fine day when we went out the next morning. We visited some places and some caves and got some time to shoot the streets of Zenuan.
When I travel, for example, when I go out for a shoot, traveling, I make sure that I get to explore the streets of a place. I go out of the backs.
Okay.
I go out of the backs and explore the place. You get to see a lot of unfamiliar things. Uncommon things that you get to shoot every time. I'm very much into black and white.
Black and white, yes.
Yeah, so what I do is look for contrast and shadows. And once I see a shadow, I definitely know that I can always go down for several stops. Okay. So I will be able to make it out for the
stops like -1 stop.
-1 stop, -2 stops.
2 stops. You always look for contrast and shadow.
Yes, contrast and shadows for me if I'm looking for a black and white kind of photo or portrait. Like for example, I'm seeing an old man right here. He wears a black cloak, and from here I know exactly that he would look good in black and white.
Black and white.
Yeah.
Contrast. Where's the door?
Yeah, the door, his face. We don't have very much high contrast sunlight, but when I look at him, he's already lit pretty well.
A lot of places to see here, you know, in Shenyuan.
Yes.
This is very, you know, the picture of China for me is this. People doing some things, their own things, doing some modern things, doing some old things.
That's right.
What do you use? Fast shutter speed for this one?
That actually depends, but based on my observations earlier while we're shooting, I don't see a need for a slow shutter speed. So most of the time I use the faster shutter speed, about 250 and above, something like that, because I wanted to freeze the moment.
Okay.
You know, besides, there are a lot of activities going on at the same time, and I need to capture them as much as I can. I wanted to freeze the moment, to freeze the scene. Hold on, can I take a picture of this?
So the scenes, the moments, and the environment. These are the elements of good street and travel photography. Here are our photographs of Zenuan, a town we will never forget. What's inside the camera bag of Larry Monserate Piojo? Find out on our next destination in Guiyang here in Digital Photographer. It was day and night street shooting that we did in Zenuan, Guizhou, China. We learned that travel photography is all about the moments and the environment. From ancient and historical, we go now to modern Guizhou. Guiyang is Guizhou's capital that houses modern structures and urban people. Larry said that although it is different from the places that we saw, still Guiyang has enough ingredients for a nice experience of travel shooting. So if you have the ingredients, what are your utensils? What is inside the camera bag of a travel and street photographer? What do you usually bring when you go out and shoot?
Lotion, sunblock.
Of course, an umbrella.
Just kidding. Anyways, when I normally shoot the street, for example, and I go outside and do my solo photo walk, I don't usually bring the bulky bag.
Okay.
I don't bring everything with me. So normally I would just use one camera and one lens.
Okay.
That's probably 24mm or 35mm, depends on what I wanted to use. But for example, for travels like this, that we don't know exactly what we're going to shoot,
Exactly.
we're going to see.
Yes.
So definitely we need to bring something like we need to bring some extra lenses, like 200 lenses or additional zoom or additional prime lenses, for example. So because we do not know what we're going to see, we're going to shoot.
Exactly.
So
It's a different culture. It's a
different culture, and it's your first time there, so you never know what. Although, for example, you've done your research, but then the research might not be enough.
Exactly.
Because the moment you get there,
You'll never know what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen? Yes. So what I have here right now is actually some few lenses. Like for example, right now I use two bodies.
Okay.
I have two bodies here. I have the number one, of course, the Pentax K3. So with it is the 35mm, the 2.4.
2.4.
35mm.
It's small.
It's small actually. It's easier if you're using small lenses. So it's easier to carry, not that bulky for us. So
And this Pentax K3, what's nice about this is it's all weather sealed. So you have the 35, which is 2.4, and the K3, and then the second
also
body
have
is
the K7.
K7. Okay,
Yeah,
weather sealed also.
Weather sealed.
Weather
Yeah.
sealed.
This one is also weather sealed. And I have here attached the 12-24 ultra wide lens for Pentax. Unfortunately, this one is not weather sealed, so I have to be very careful with
The lens.
the lens. Yeah.
But the body is weather
Better
sealed.
though, the body is fully weather sealed. So yeah, attached here is a 12-24 ultra wide.
Ultra wide.
Yeah,
Okay.
ultra wide.
That's
So-
what you're mentioning. You need.
Yeah, the wide.
shoot,
Yeah, so because I'm shooting right now, I'm shooting the 35mm, good enough for portrait and stuff. But there are times that I wanted to shoot the entire scene.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have the wide with me.
Which do you prefer? A shoulder bag or a backpack?
For me, it's easier for me if I use the shoulder bag. Okay, because shoulder bag is a lot easier to get to take your gear off from your bag. Unlike the backpack, if you're in the backpack, you have to take everything off and then
Yes.
open the zipper and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You have a point. Like for example, this shoulder bag right here from Vanguard. You mentioned about putting the backpack off. Bags today like Vanguard, you have the easy access for this
Oh wow,
one.
and that's nice.
Have
Yeah,
easy
that's nice.
access.
It's pretty nice.
It
You don't
is-
have to open this as well.
Yeah, for example, this one, and then you miss the moment
Yeah.
because it has zipper. Yeah, it's a zipper still. You'll miss the moment definitely, and then it can fit your two bodies, and then your 85, then even a laptop 15 inches. So I think that's a good point, huh? So you can say that I made a good purchase on this one.
Yeah, you made purchase for that. But if you're going to use, actually this one is a little bigger than
The usual.
The usual, but I think you have all the things that you need there.
Exactly. And especially if you're traveling, you don't need to you have a separate bag for your laptop.
Yes,
So
exactly.
everything will be here.
Yeah. So good enough because you have the 15-inch pocket for the laptop, so you can.
You need a laptop definitely when you have to dump. Do you bring a laptop when you travel?
I bring a laptop, but of course I do bring a laptop. But sometimes you just left it in the hotel. But the problem with bringing it to the hotel is that the security issue or something.
Yes.
Like that. So that's a problem. But if you know that you don't need to upload, you don't need to send the photos right away. I think I suggest that you just leave your laptop at home. Because if there's no reason for you to send the photo to your publisher or to anyone.
Yes.
So it's easier for you to. It's a lot easier if you just leave your laptop at home.
Of course, it's not just about shooting and gear or technique. Learning about the culture is also a very important factor on doing travel photography. And even songs matter. The shooting will continue when we come back, and you will learn some tips from the photo editor of the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Digital photographer will return in a few moments. Digital photographer would like to thank China Daily, Panasonic Video Philippines, Vanguard Philippines, Phottix Philippines, Pentax Philippines, Steady Tracker Incorporated, Rode Microphones, Team Manila. Our assignment is about to end here in China, and so far, I've learned some cool tricks from Monserate Piojo, a very good street and travel photographer. But before our journey ends, I won't miss the moment on talking to Rem Zamora, an awesome photojournalist and a photo editor. We're here with Rem, who works with Philippine Daily Inquirer, a very good photojournalist. Yes. Let me ask you guys, what do you normally look when you shoot people in places like this?
Well, for me, I always try to get everyone's story. There's no small story, there's no big story. Everyone has a story, and you need to look into that, and just for you to be able to capture it in photographs. So it's very important, especially for a new place like this. You need to always be curious, not just with your photographic eye, but with how people think and how they live. So everyone has a story.
Okay, and then we noticed that there are a few rules when we walk. So you are a photojournalist and part of course, the media, the freedom of shooting people and shooting what's happening.
Yeah.
So how do you know when to stop, like for beginner photojournalists out there?
You need to be sensitive to other people's lives. You should put your place also in their own shoes. If you feel that you'd be offended,
okay,
personally, then you stop shooting. You put down your camera. It's always a good thing that you talk to your subject, get more comfortable to them, so that you don't just take a photo of one person and then leave.
Yes.
We give respect.
Because most some photographers, they just take the snap and then leave.
Actually, actually it's very important to respect. That's my mantra for street photographers. When taking photos, portraits, I normally ask for permission first.
Okay.
To take the photo. Because it's very important to dignify the person. Just once you dignify the person, you get to know the person, you get to know the person you're photographing.
Okay.
So then it's easy for you to share their story. Even just it's a photograph. It's easier for you to send the story out there.
Yeah, so that's important, everyone. You should interact with your subject, respect them, like Rem had mentioned, be in their shoes. So you just don't have to just shoot and then go.
Yeah.
It's a good tip, guys. There is no big story and a small story. Whether it's the people or the places, everything here in Guizhou has a story. So, we as photographers did our best to capture it. Check out our snaps. Now that you know some good techniques on travel photography, don't close yourself on just shooting. Travel is also about learning and experiencing a culture, a new perspective. And photography is just one of the ways you can do to document it. This journey ends with a beginning. A beginning of a new perspective of travel and street photography. Thanks, Larry.
Sure.
And a new perspective of colorful Guizhou. Thanks for joining us. And this is Digital Photographer. Shall we?
Sure.
Go. Go.